Namaste and welcome to this new moon practice today. So the new moon is a time for, rather than seeing with our eyes, more for feeling and intuition. And when the moon is invisible, as it is at the time of the new moon, it signals that everything has been cleared. And so we're going to be starting our practice with a little bit of clearing with Kapalabhati breath. So releasing all the old and get ready for the new. And it's also time for a new beginning. So this is a great time for us to begin to gather our ideas, our thoughts, and begin to make plans for the coming month. And this is a really great doing specific things in tune with the phases of the moon is a really great way to kind of come into tune with nature, our circadian rhythms, and the natural rhythms of life. And too often we don't even pay it any attention, but when we start to mark these certain phases of the seasons, or in this case of the moon, and do certain things at that time, it really helps us to begin to get in this really natural rhythm in our lives, which is also very healthy, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, to really tune into the energies around us. So this is a time for a clean slate for us. In this quiet darkness of the moon, we're encouraged to go inward. So a lot of our poses today will be, forward folds and taking some time for inward reflection and some surrender to the earth. As the power of the moon is less at this time, this is a great time to really root down. And if you plant according to the new moon is a time when the earth energy is stronger. So rooting is a stronger thing that goes on at this time, rather than the upward growth that comes with the full moon, which we'll talk about in another class. So we're going to start, first of all, just seated, and I'm actually going to sit cross-legged to begin. Have a couple of blocks handy, because we are going to sit the way I was just sitting to do our Kapalabhati practice. But we're just going to start by connecting or tuning into our breath. So let's just start with your left hand to your heart with the intention to calm the nerves and begin to send healing energy to the endocrine system, and our right hand just below the belly button, and begin to slow the breath and the heart rate by breathing into the belly and consciously bringing your awareness inward to honor the changes occurring in your life. So let your eyes close if you haven't already, and just breathe into that lower hand, which is my right hand, and just connect with your breath as you let the chaos of whatever's happening in your life fall away and begin to connect with the calmness at your center. And it's here that we'll take a few breaths to set an intention for this practice today. And this could be a single word or a mantra. And the purpose of this intention is to maintain focus throughout the flow. So coming back to this intention as many times as you need during this next hour of practice. And we look to start this practice with an open mind and an open heart, honoring the body and the breath. And move with the intention of nurturing your mind, body, and soul. So as you set your intention, what is your heart whispering to you? What are your deepest desires? What area of your life needs renewal? And what part of your life needs an extra breath of fresh air? Take a couple more breaths here, preparing for new beginnings, new goals, new intentions. And reconnecting with your deepest desires. 3 more breaths here. Nice deep belly breaths. 2 more breaths. Last breath here. And then we're going to make our way onto a couple of blocks or some sort of prop. And some of you might not need that in order to sit your sit bones towards your heels. I need that for my knees. So I'm going to set up 2 blocks. You might only need 1 or none. And so that my knees are parallel, my shins and feet are parallel behind me. We're going to do some Kapata Bali. We're going to do, if you were in the last class we did, that wasn't a moon class, we did this in that class where we inhale to reach up and retain the breath at the end of the Kapata Bali round at the top of the inhale. And then our second round, we made fists and brought the fists into the belly and folded forward. Now, if you just ate, this isn't a good idea, so you can fold forward without the fist. Hopefully you're practicing without a full stomach. But just so you know, that's not appropriate if you've got a tummy full of food. So let's just start with a big inhale, reaching up, and maybe intertwining your fingers, pressing the palms up and lengthening the spine up, and just a gentle pause at the top of the breath. And then as you exhale, let the hands come down. Maybe your fingertips can touch the earth to ground. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, palms up, intertwine, look up, press up to the skies. And as you exhale, fingertips touch back down to the earth, regrounding. 1 more time. Inhale. Reach up, intertwine, press up, little gentle pause at the top of your inhale as you lengthen your spine. And exhale, release it all down back to the earth. This time we're going to inhale, reach up. And as we exhale, you can either bring your arms parallel to the floor with your fingers curled in and thumbs up, or let your hands release to your hands and or your thighs, and we'll start our first round of Kapata Bali. And we could go slow for this first one. So taking 1 more inhale, and then begin. It doesn't have to be fast, but you want the movement, the snap of the belly back towards the spine to be crisp. And then one last one, your next inhale, reaching up to the sky. You can either touch your thumbs or intertwine your thumbs and spread your palms open here. As you hold the top of the inhale, retaining that inhale breath and reaching it up. Not straining, just allowing a gentle, easeful retention here. And whenever you need to release, slowly let your fingertips come down, either to touch the earth to ground or to rest on your thighs. We're going to do 1 more round of Kapata Bali, but just sit with eyes closed and just notice perhaps you feel a clearing of the mind already and a warming of the digestive fire, the belly, warming of your whole body. Okay, let's do 1 more round. Again, you can rest hands here or out to the side as we did the first round. Inhale, let's reach up, intertwine your fingers, press up, look up. And then as you exhale, release the hands to your position, your arms to your position, and begin at your speed. Three more rounds. And then take a big inhale, maybe reach up if you wish. As we exhale, bringing the hands into fist to the belly. At the bottom of your exhale, we begin to fold forward. Let the fist come into the belly. Retain the exhale at the bottom of the breath as everything is exhaled out. And you can even move your fists around a little in the belly, loosening up whatever you need to release as we begin this new cycle. Whenever you need to take your inhale breath, simply rise up to your seat and pause here just with your normal breath, just noticing whatever you may be feeling. Bring your thoughts back to your intention for a moment. And then bring your hands to your heart center, fingertips touching, the heel of your hand touching, but space between the hands. This is called Atmanjali Mudra. And this mudra is basically a salutation to yourself, to your soul. And it helps to connect the left and right sides of the brain for more balance and draw you into your heart so that you can hear your heart's desires. And with this space between the hands, it's a symbol of the possibility of what you would like to fill your space with, or what you would like to clean up and create space. It's in a mudra of immense possibility. So one more breath here with Atmanjali Mudra and your intention. And then we're going to go ahead and begin our physical practice. So you can come off your props, and we're going to come to standing. All right, come to the top of your mat, and we will begin with some moon salutations. And some of you may have done these before. So it's a little bit, the sun salutations are a little bit more warming and fiery. The moon salutations are a little bit softer and calmer, which is the energy that we are cultivating with this new moon. The darkness, the inward reflection, and the more grounding to the earth. So let's begin. Feet can be hip width apart. As we inhale, we reach up to the sky. Intertwine the fingers, press the palms up to that starry sky. And then as we exhale, release your hands to your sacrum. Take an inhale, lift the heart. And as we exhale, slide the hands down the back of the thighs, coming into your forward fold. Hands to the front. Inhale, lift halfway. And as we exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat, coming into a lunge. We drop the back knee and inhale, reach up to the skies. Exhale, hands come down and step back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, drop the knees. Inhale. Let's do a few rounds of cat-cow. Using the inhale breath to open the front body and creating that curve of the moon, and exhale, press the earth away from you. Take one more inhale here. And as we exhale, come into child's pose. Now next time as we inhale, we're going to slide forward, staying low to the earth, and come into Sphinx pose. Nice and gentle, heart opening Sphinx pose here. And then as we exhale, we're going to slide our arms forward into Ara pose, bringing our palms together, letting our whole front body come down to the earth. As we inhale, slide your hands back under the shoulders, rise up into Cobra. Press up and back, child's pose. Inhale, rise up. One round of cow. And exhale back into downward facing dog. We step our right foot forward, coming into lunge on our second side. Lifting the gaze slightly. Drop the back knee. And inhale. reach up to the sky. You can intertwine the fingers and reach the palms up as we reach up to that starry night sky. And exhale, hands come down, lift the back knee, step it forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, we bow, we bend the knees, press into the earth and rise up. Come all the way up. Press your palms up to the sky, little back bend, and release back to the heart center. Let's do another round just like that one. So inhaling, reaching up, intertwine the fingers, press up. As we exhale, release the hands to the sacrum. Inhale, invite a little back bend. Exhale, fold as you slide the hands down the back of the thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. And as we exhale, stepping left foot to the back of the mat into our lunge. Drop the back knee. And inhale, reach up to the sky, intertwine the fingers, press up, look up. And as we exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Drop the knees. One round of cat-cow. Inhaling the heart forward. Exhaling, we curl up. One more round of cow. And we exhale into child's pose. The inhale, we slide, staying low to the earth, coming forward mindfully into Sphinx pose, opening the heart, grounding to the earth. Take one more inhale, and as we exhale, we slide into arrow pose. So reaching the arms forward, palms come together. Let the forehead rest down. Take a deep, full inhale, exhale here. On your next inhale, draw the hands back under the shoulders and lift up into cobra. Exhale, back into child's pose. Inhale, cow. Curl the toes under. The exhale is down dog. Inhale, exhale here in downward facing dog. Bending your knees as much as you need to. And then we step our left foot forward, coming into lunge, second side on this round. Dropping the back knee. Inhale, reach to the sky, intertwine the fingers, press up. You notice we're going nice and slow with slow breath here. We're not in a rush. Working with the cool energy of the moon. Lift the back knee. Step it forward as you exhale. Inhale, lift your heart. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bow down. Press into the floor as you bend your knees and rise up. Intertwine the fingers, press up. And exhale, circle like you're drawing the moon with your fingers to your heart center. Take a breath or two here in mountain pose, perhaps coming back to your intention, your heart's desire for this next month. And let's come into what's called crescent moon in a lot of yoga practices is just a standing side bend. So we're going to, maybe I'll back up a little bit. Inhale and reach up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and lengthen up on your inhale. Feet can be hip width here. Exhale, side bend over to the left and really press into that right foot to keep that right foot grounded. Lengthen up and over as though you're side bending over the rounded shape of a moon. Come back up to center, release your arms down. Inhale, reach back up. This time grab the left wrist. Lengthen up, side bend over to the other side, pressing down into that left foot. And come back up, circle down and around. Let's do that one more time, but we're going to add our feet movement into it. So we're grabbing right wrist with left hand and stepping right foot behind us and side bending over to the left. So our right foot is diagonally over to the left side and we're side bending over to the left. Release the hands down, step back to your center. Let's do second side. Last time, inhale, grab left wrist and step left foot over to the right side as we side bend to the right. Nice big breath into that left side body. And then let's bring it back to center. Beautiful. So we're going to actually come down into Malasana. Malasana is a deep squat pose like this. So if this is not, does not work with the mobility of your ankles and knees, grab a rolled up blanket or a rolled up towel to put under your ankles or under your heels to give a little bit of lift to your heels. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. So with your feet a little wider than hip width, maybe your prop under your heels if you need that, or maybe even your blocks so that your bum can come to your blocks to help assist you. We're going to inhale, reach up to the sky, and as we exhale, begin to sit down as we bring our hands to heart center. Like some of you might only come this deep depending what's happening with your knees. And so from the side, I could actually have my elbows resting on my knees. Some of you are going to come all the way down. Some of you might have a block under your bum. But my elbows are pressing into my knees. My knees are pressing into my elbows. This is a deep hip opener as well as strengthener. So I'm pressing in both directions, and then we're going to come into a little bit of a twist, releasing my right hand down to the mat and reaching my left hand up, looking up towards my left hand, coming into a bit of a twist. And then we come back to center and opposite side. So left hand comes to the floor or towards the floor. Right hand reaches up, we look up. Maybe you can imagine you're looking up to that invisible moon, reaching up to it, and then come back to center. And we're simply going to bring hands towards the floor, lift the hips up into a forward fold. You can walk your feet towards one another a little bit. I'm actually going to move a little out of the sun because the sun's coming around and I know that makes it hard to see what I'm doing. Then inhale, halfway lift. And as we exhale, I'm going to step the right foot to the back of my mat for crescent lunge. So reaching the hands out behind me, bringing strength into my rooted feet, and then coming up into our lunge, intertwining the fingers and pressing the palms up. So we're going to move in and out of our lunges a few times. So don't worry if you're not at your deepest yet. Take one more inhale here, and we're going to pivot to the long side of our mat into fiery angel. So feet are out at a 45-degree angle. Arms are like cactus arms. So we're bringing strength into our root by grounding here. And then we're going to pivot to the back side of our mat for lunge on our second side. So coming up onto the back toes, pressing palms up to the sky. So we're going to make this transition between these two a few more times. So take one more breath here in your crescent lunge. Coming into our fiery angel. And then pivoting over to the front of our mat for crescent lunge, second time around. Still staying nice and slow with our breath. We're going to pivot into fiery angel. Exhale. Inhale into crescent on the back of our mat. Exhale, fiery angel. Inhale, crescent lunge, nice slow breath. Exhale, fiery angel. Inhale, last time, this side to the back of our mat. Right foot is forward. And the exhale, we come back to fiery angel, our last fiery angel. Inhale, crescent moon. And then as we exhale, hands come back down. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's take another moon salutation here. Dropping to the knees for cat-cow. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, curl the belly in. One more cow pose. Inhale. And exhale, child's pose. The inhale, we slide forward, slither forward, staying close to the earth as we slowly, mindfully come into Sphinx pose. Being careful to not compress the low back, but staying long in the spine and strong through the legs. Take another inhale, and then on your next exhale, slide your hands forward, bring your palms together, perhaps in Atmanjali Mudra with the heel of the hands and the fingertips together, as we release the forehead and the whole front body down to the mat, down to the earth. Your next inhale, slide hands under your shoulders, cobra pose. Exhale back, child's pose. This time, before we leave our child's pose, we're going to come into rabbit pose. And rabbit pose, if you know it, is just grabbing your heels, ankles, shins, whatever you're able to reach in your child's pose. And then lifting the hips up, bringing a stretch into the back body as we roll onto the top of the head rather than the forehead. Keep drawing the hips up. And I feel a nice stretch across the back of the upper shoulders. And hopefully that's where you're feeling it too. One more breath here. Eyes closed, come back to your intention. Exhale, release the hips. Hands come up. Inhale, cow. Exhale, curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale in your downward facing dog. And then your next exhale, step walk up to the top of your mat. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, circle like you're drawing that big moon. And draw into your heart center. Let's just take another breath or two here in our mountain pose, eyes open or closed. And then we're going to come into a nice, calm, balanced pose. And we're going to use tree pose today. So you can do tree pose just in the middle of your mat. You can do it up against a wall. You can use a block. I'll demonstrate the block. If you want to use the wall, come with your back to the wall. And this gives you a nice feedback as to how your body alignment is. Or you can do it using a block. I've got the block between my feet. Starting with the right leg bent. If you're using the block, toes to the block, externally rotate. And you might just be right here with the foot into the inside of the shin, your toes resting on your block. Hands to heart center, maybe coming into Atmanjali Mudra with that space between your palms to invite possibility. Some of you are going to want to slide your foot up. Not necessary, but optional. And just take a couple of breaths here. Finding that rootedness in through your standing foot and a calm, soft gaze. And then let's release down. Coming onto the right foot, bending the left, externally rotating and bringing the sole of that foot into to press against the shin, or sliding the foot up, maybe even bringing it up to your thigh. You get to decide where you're going to take it, and come into Atmanjali Mudra again. And lift up through that standing, hip. Soften your gaze and your focus. And soften the breath. Come back to your intention. One more breath. And then let's release down. If you're using the block, you can remove it. If you're against the wall, you can come back to your mat. And we're going to flow down to a seat. Inhaling, reaching up to the sky. Exhaling, bowing down. Inhale, lift halfway. And as we exhale, stepping back to downward facing dog. And from our downward facing dog, dropping down to the knees, coming down to a seat, and extending the legs out in front. We're going to come into first a twist, and then forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. So we're going to start with the right leg bent, left leg straight. You can curl that left leg underneath you if you wish. And it would look like this if that's the version that you're taking. But you can also do that with this leg straight. The new moon isn't the time for us to push and strive. This is a time for surrender and gentleness. So if you've got your foot here, you can also cross it over, and you can wrap the left arm around with the right hand behind you. Lifting up nice and tall on an inhale, and as we exhale, using the belly to twist to your right, not straining the neck. And just take nice inhale, exhale here. And then we're going to add a variation to this, which is a little bit like a standing pose, which we didn't do today, but sometimes we do. I'm going to bring my left hand to my left big toe and extend that foot. Now this might be grab your ankle or your shin and extend that leg. And if you wish, you can lift your right arm and reach it out behind, maybe looking towards your right hand. And then bring that foot back down. Release out in front. And let's come into our second side. So bending left foot. The foot might stay inside. It might cross over, or you can bring the bottom leg under, curled around. I'm going to do the straight leg version today. Right arm comes around that top knee, and we begin to twist from the belly, twist to the left. Left hand's behind you. The inhale lengthens the spine and the crown up towards that night sky, those stars, and that invisible moon. The exhale allows us to twist a little bit more from the belly center. Now we're going to move into that variation, grabbing the big toe, the ankle, or the shin, and extending that left leg. So my left leg is diagonal across my body over to the right side. I might lift my back arm, my left arm, and I might actually lift or turn my gaze to that left hand out behind me. Take one more breath. And release. Come down. One more seated pose here. The right foot comes to the inside of the thigh. I'm sorry, this is getting so bright here as the sun comes around in my windows. Or maybe I need to move closer forward to get out of the sun. I think that's what I will do. That might be better. Just going to adjust the camera slightly. There we go. So right foot to the inside. Come even a little bit closer. And then rotating the body towards that front leg. And think about lifting up and over. You might even sit on a blanket, a folded blanket here to lift your hips up a little bit. Think of folding up and over that front leg, not curling over it. Let your head stay in line with your spine. Let your hands be on either side of that leg. And this might be where your posture is, and that is absolutely fine. Or you might walk it down further as things begin to release. And even close your eyes here. Come back to thoughts of your intention. Breathe into your back body. Let your inhale lengthen your spine right through to the crown of your head. Maybe we reach just a little bit more through our right hand and lengthen that right side body. And then we're going to walk our hands up. Just pause here for a little moment. And then let's lift that right leg and see if you can cross the leg over. And this is a half Gomukhasana. So I'm drawing my knee kind of towards the center of my leg here. And sitting up nice and tall, you might feel a little bit of opening in the hip. Some of you might feel like you can fold forward here. We're not going to stay here for too long, wherever variation you're in. And then releasing that leg straight. Let's come to our second side. Left foot draws into the inner thigh. Prop up your knee if you need to. And then let's rotate the body to the center of this straight leg. Lifting up and over that leg. This is a lot tighter side for me, so I am definitely not going to go as deep. And always think about the left hand in this particular side. We want to walk it a little bit further, which lengthens through that left side body a little bit more and helps us draw us to the center of that thigh. And as you close your eyes and breathe into this, you might find with each breath, the pose unfolds just a little bit more for you. Reach just a little bit more through that left hand for this last breath. And then let's come on up. And let's bring that left leg over and across. And bringing the knee in some way towards the center of our leg. It's not going to get there for all of us. But this is half Gomukhasana. So you might just be sitting up here nice and tall. Some of you might actually fold forward. And then coming up, releasing both legs straight. Let's take Paschimottanasana, forward fold over both legs. So inhale nice and tall, maybe even you reach up. And as we exhale, we lift up and over the legs. You might just grab your shins, hands to the floor. Some of you might have your toes and pull the toes back. But keep your neck in line with your spine rather than dropping your head towards your knees. You might have a little micro bend in your knees here as well. And then slowly inhale, come back, coming into Baddha Konasana. So bringing the feet, the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop out. Now some of you, I'm going to give you 3 options here. You can stay seated, supporting yourself with your hands on the floor. You can grab the outside edge of your foot and sit up nice and tall. Some of you are going to fold forward. Actually, I'm going to give you 4 options here. And some of you are going to lie back on your back or even on a bolster or a block between your shoulder blades into Supta Baddha Konasana. I feel like Supta Baddha is the pose that I'm going to take. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. If you need a couple of blocks under your knees, place blocks under your knees. And let your eyes close. In whichever variation you are in. And imagine that you are planting seeds of growth within yourself, and feel yourself swelling potential, and open your heart to infinite possibilities. Allow yourself to be held and supported fully by the earth. And any of you who are not in the lying down version, we're now going to make your way onto your back. And either coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, laying on your back, or straightening your legs into Shavasana, and taking a couple of breaths, bringing your left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly. And bringing your thoughts back to that potential of the seed within. That swelling potential. Those of you who have ever planted a garden, seeded, grown things from seed, the seed begins to swell. And as the sweet seed swells, it breaks open and sends roots down into the earth before it grows up to the sky, before we see its growth above the soil. So imagine your intentions like that at this time of the new moon, swelling and getting ready to crack open, but not quite there yet, but the potential, the possibilities are all there within that seed planted within you. Feel the energy and the power within you, the energy of the earth, that ability, a possibility to manifest your heart's desire. Visually receiving rejuvenation and the energy of renewal. And visualize yourself like a vessel, filling and overflowing and spilling over to others. As you inhale until your lungs are full, take a pause, take it all in, but soften. And as you exhale, gradually empty like the new moon. Empty but renewed. And just pause and hold that exhale. And now allow yourself to soften completely into Shavasana, into stillness and rest for the next few moments. I invite you to possibly stay in your Shavasana a few minutes longer and simply listen to my words. Or begin to invite the gentle movements as you softly rouse your body and curl into fetal position. Allowing that curve of your back, like the curve of the moon. And just take a moment with eyes closed to ponder this new moon, the darkest night of the cycle, as a time to rest, reflect, and plant these metaphorical seeds. The moon pauses, neither waxing nor waning, encouraging us to do the same. And here, as you rest, there is no need for further action. Just allow your body to rest and reflect. We simply feel full of potential, but not quite ready to sprout. Namaste. Have an amazing day, and thank you so much for joining me for this new moon practice. And we will see you at the next phase of the moon for the crescent moon practice. See you on your mat. Have an amazing day.